Confidence is critical to success. If you look around at all the successful people that you know and admire, there's likely they all have at least one characteristic in common, and that is that they possess confidence. Oh, they may have occasional bouts of self-doubt. That's natural. But overall, to be successful in any endeavor requires a certain level of core competence. Because without this necessary component, we wouldn't have the courage to pursue our big goals and dreams in the first place, would we? Hi, if we haven't met before, I'm Shelley from Taming Frenzy. If you sometimes struggle from a lack of confidence, you know how much that can impact the rest of your life. It holds you back, and it prevents you from pursuing things that are important to you because you don't believe that you have the ability to achieve them. This lack of confidence keeps you playing small, and it keeps you from living up to your true potential. But it is possible to increase your core confidence so that you have the courage to go after the things that you want. And the best way that I have found to increase your confidence is to increase your competence. Once you have developed your competence in an area, the confidence naturally will follow. So, what's the difference between confidence and competence? Competence is having skill in a particular area. It's the ability to do something well or efficiently. It's being good at something. Confidence, on the other hand, is a feeling of self-assuredness that you get from your own skills and abilities. So competence is a skill, while confidence is a feeling. Now, if you suffer from a lack of confidence, you're probably looking for ways to increase it. And one of the single most important ways you can do this is to increase the skills that you know you're weak in. The two go hand in hand because when you become better at something, more competent, you begin to feel more assured and confident that you were able to do something. And it makes sense if you think about it. When you're good at something, you are certain of your abilities. You have internalized the fact that you know how to do something, and therefore you believe that you'll be able to accomplish something because you know that you have the skills that are necessary to make that happen. In other words, you've got the chops to back it up. Now, how does this work? An example is if you wanted to build a house, but you did not know how to use the carpentry skills, the first thing that you would need to learn is how to use those different tools. You'd need to learn what the tools were that you needed, what their purpose was, and then how to use them most effectively and efficiently. And then you would work to perfect those skills until they became automatic, to the point that you just didn't even have to think about them. In fact, that's called automaticity. That is when you know how to do something so well that it just comes naturally to you and you do not have to stop to think about what steps do I do next. It literally becomes automatic to you as easily as breathing. Because once you've mastered the tools, you would feel confident that you could build a house because you would know that it was simply a matter of following the plan and using the skills that have now become part of your repertoire. Increasing your confidence in a certain area works the exact same way. You need to evaluate what skills you need in a certain area and then go about developing these skills until they become automatic to you as well. Now, how do you go about improving your competence in various skills? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to identify what skills you need to develop. Second, you need to make a plan so that you can start working to develop those skills. You can do this by taking classes, checking out books from the library, learning online, listening to instructional videos and podcasts, or learning from someone who's an expert. Then once you decide on the approach to this that's right for you, then you need to just go about doing it repeatedly. Do it over and over and over again until it becomes very natural to you. You don't necessarily have to do something for 10,000 hours, as a lot of experts and people who've studied talk about it requiring 10,000 hours to become proficient at something. But you do need to do something repeatedly until it gets to the point that it comes easily to you. You need to practice this often enough that you are confident that you know what you're doing. And then once you have become competent in one particular skill, then it's time to move on and develop your competence in the next skill by repeating the process. Ideally, we would all be constantly taking steps to increase our competence in different areas and with different skills. In this way, lifelong learning becomes not only a skill-building activity, but becomes a confidence booster as well. It all boils down to one very simple phrase: increased competence equals increased confidence. So what was the last thing you learned how to do? Leave me a comment. Let's talk about it.